Welcome back to Blender Sushi LIVENODING. In this episode, I want to share the breakdown of this simple takoyaki or squid balls. So this food is normally served like this. So with some topping, with soy sauce, with some mayonnaise on top of it, and other toppings, and usually served in this kind of paper boat. Yeah, so this is like a simplified version, and it doesn't have the inside of the squid balls, but I will try to explain what's going on. So it's very simple and basic. If you already know how to do it, that's fine, but try to build this from scratch, maybe as fast as you can if you want to, so we can play that kind of game, speed game, or yeah, make this a little bit better yourself. So I have a single object as usual with geometry nodes, and we have three different material: mayonnaise, dough, and paper. In this case, I did put too much mayonnaise on top. It should be the mayonnaise should be like maybe like a soy sauce, maybe darker soy sauce, or I turn it into chocolate. But anyway, this is assigned to each part of the takoyaki, right? Let me fix that. It should be more like oranges. It's not easy to get the color of soy sauce, right? But anyway, yeah, so you might think I start with the takoyaki, but I actually start with the grid, okay, the paper. So the paper part is really simple. It's just a simple grid, and it's being extruded, not individual. Not individual. If you individual, you're gonna get like an egg container. So turn that off. So I extruded, invert extrude it, and then if you want to, you can scale the elements. We want it to shape like a boat, more or less, and then I flip the face, and we got the subdivisions here. If you want to make it a little bit rounded, in this case, just keep it at 1, and then I give it a material of paper. To observe the flip surface, you can turn on face orientations, so you can tell if it's correctly facing. Okay, the insides might be a little bit, we might need to add some kind of thickness, but that's the paper. The takoyaki itself, I use a sphere, a UV sphere to start with. With the latest geometry nodes in Blender 3.5, we have this UV map alpha that we can pipe out if we want to. So the primitive sphere has UV map. I subdivide it once to get more resolutions. Yeah, but I can also increase it. So yeah, that's looking more like takoyaki. For the takoyaki to look correct, usually it's when you serve it, there should be more than one takoyaki usually. So I'm using this instance on points to arrange the takoyaki, so I can have more or less takoyaki. So this is like a big serve of takoyaki, and I use this set positions and random value just to randomize the takoyaki a little bit, so it's not fully arranged like this, otherwise it looks really weird. It might be slightly off because it's rolling the paper bag, and I can randomize it if I want to. So I instance these balls and realize the instances, so I can put this soy sauce on top of it. The soy sauce is using distribute points on faces, and then I use point volume and volume to mesh to turn it into a mesh, and then assign a material on top of it. Okay, the distribute point on face is using the selections. At the moment, if I cut these selections, it's gonna be covering the whole takoyaki, but if I use the selections, it's only covering the top. Why is this work? Because we are using this the normal of the balls that's being compared with the normal that we want to pour the soy sauce or on top of it, so it's just from the top. So using the dot product, we can sort of put how much we want the soy sauce to be. Okay, so maybe something like that. And yeah, we assign the material, and then finally, I think what's going on here, oh, the noise. Okay, this is for the a little bit of details for the takoyaki, some kind of displacement using noise. And then I assign material to the octopus ball and join the geometry, and then add a shade smooth. So if you want to add like a mayonnaise on top of that, I like to use geometry nodes. I think that's easy. Or actually use like a curve. Shift A, create a curve, Bezier, and then go to edit mode, delete everything, and then we're gonna use draw on the surface. And maybe like if you're, yeah, you can just kind of doing it that way, you know. This is for the mayonnaise. I think it should be projected on top of the geometry. So this is an extra object, and we just gonna need to have another geometry nodes, and maybe use curve to mesh and circle. Fill the cap. So assign a material. I will use the mayonnaise. But create a new material, and this one should be different color. Okay, give it like a mayonnaise color. Slightly yellowish, maybe more specular. And I think, yeah, it's kind of leaking down, but it's okay for now. It's a still work in progress, I guess. We can also resample, resample the curve beforehand using the length. And to make this less perfect, we can set radius, randomize. But usually I think with this we can also make curve to points, and points. Oh, since we already turned it into a mesh, we can use mesh to volume, volume to mesh. Maybe with lower value here. Set smooth. It's a little bit messy, but should be okay. Increase the resolutions of the mayonnaise. Maybe even smaller. You can actually go really high with the voxel. It's gonna slow down Blender a little bit. But there you go, that's a takoyaki on top of paper with some mayonnaise on top. The arrangement of the grid, if you ever want to change it, yeah, these points over here, you can use mesh circle. If you ever want to make a donuts, remember these arrangements. You get a Mr. Donut. And if you ever want to change this mayonnaise, you can just redraw it. Okay, so this is something that I always want to do inside Blender, and I think it's made possible because of geometry nodes today. It's just really powerful, and yeah, I think there's a lot of opportunity with geometry nodes. Maybe made all kind of foods from different countries, so every food should be like geometry nodes at the moment. At this point, you know, everything can be like procedural. So yeah, it's a very basic stuff, but it's fun to do. Try to find your favorite foods and then turn it into geometry nodes for fun. All right, so thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.